Welcome to The Big Idea. I'm your host, Faith Lark. Today, on The Big Idea, imagine a spiritual leader, revered by thousands, suddenly facing accusations that shatter his enlightened image. In today's episode, witness the unraveling of Mooji's story and discover how his journey challenges you to find your own truth before you blindly trust another. The accusations pierce the tranquil Portuguese morning like arrows. Cult leader, someone shouts across Monte Sahaja's meditation hall. Yet Mooji sits unmoved, his eyes closed, face serene. The contrast between his peaceful demeanor and the chaos erupting around him captures the essence of a spiritual journey gone awry. You've probably wondered, how does someone transition from beloved teacher to controversial figure? The answer lies in the delicate dance between enlightenment and ego. When you're searching for meaning, it's tempting to follow those who seem to have found it. In 1954, a boy named Anthony Paul Muyung was born in Port Antonio, Jamaica, far from the spiritual spotlight he would later occupy. His mother's departure for England, when he was just 1 year old, left him with his father and aunt, planting early seeds of loss that would shape his quest for deeper truth. Picture young Anthony on sun-baked Jamaican streets, choosing quiet corners over playground games. While other children chased balls, he traced patterns in the sand, finding meaning in the abstract. His father's death when he was 8 years old deepened his introspective nature. Perhaps you recognize this in yourself, how life's early wounds can become portals to profound understanding. The streets of London in the 1970s couldn't have been more different from Jamaica's warmth. Anthony, now a street artist, painted to survive. His canvases captured the eye, but something essential remained unexpressed. The city's relentless pace and grey skies mirrored his inner searching. Have you ever felt this way? Successful on the outside, yet haunted by an inexplicable emptiness. 1987 marked the beginning of his transformation. A chance meeting with a Christian mystic named Michael sparked something profound in Anthony. For the first time, he glimpsed a piece beyond his artistic expression. The experience changed him fundamentally, but it also awakened an insatiable hunger for more. This is where many spiritual seekers find themselves, caught between illumination and the desire for ever deeper understanding. Small London apartments became the birthplace of Mooji's teaching career. Seekers gathered in cramped spaces, drawn by his ability to articulate the ineffable. The intimacy of these early satsangs created an electric atmosphere of possibility. You could feel the collective yearning for truth, the shared hope that someone might finally have the answers. But as his following grew, so did the pressure to maintain an image of perpetual enlightenment. In 1993, Mooji's path led him to India, where he met his guru, H.W.L. Punya Papaji. The encounter transformed him completely. In Papaji's presence, the seeking that had driven him for years dissolved into a profound recognition of what he'd been looking for all along. When you're on your own journey, such moments of clarity can feel like finally coming home after a long voyage. If you're enjoying The Big Idea, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. Learn to make better decisions and think like Einstein, Da Vinci, and Socrates. Now back to the episode. Yet life had other plans. In 1994, Mooji's son died from pneumonia, testing his newfound enlightenment against the raw reality of human suffering. He returned to London for the burial, but rather than breaking him, the tragedy seemed to deepen his commitment to spiritual teaching. How many of us have faced such crucibles, where our deepest beliefs collide with life's harshest truths? As his following grew, Mooji established Monte Sahaja, his ashram in Portugal. The peaceful retreat became a beacon for spiritual seekers worldwide. His teachings emphasized self-inquiry, and the recognition of one's true nature beyond the ego. But shadows began to emerge in this spiritual paradise. Former followers started sharing troubling stories. They spoke of emotional manipulation, financial opacity, and cult-like dynamics. The very intensity that drew people to Mooji became a source of concern. His teaching that feelings are just visitors began to sound less like wisdom and more like a way to dismiss valid concerns. During a particularly charged satsang, the carefully maintained facade cracked. A former devotee stood up, voice trembling with emotion, and detailed their experience of manipulation and control. The silence that followed was deafening. You could feel the collective intake of breath as hundreds of followers confronted a difficult truth. Even spiritual teachers can cast long shadows. Today, Mooji's legacy remains complex. While some continue to find profound wisdom in his teachings, others warn of the dangers of surrendering one's discernment to any spiritual authority. The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere in between. His story raises essential questions about the nature of spiritual authority and the human tendency to seek salvation outside ourselves. Here's what Mooji's journey reveals. The most reliable guru is the one that resides within you. External teachers may point the way, but true transformation requires trusting your own inner compass. When you find yourself seeking answers from others, pause and ask, what wisdom already exists within me? What truth am I afraid to face? Your challenge isn't to avoid spiritual teachers altogether, but to maintain your sovereignty while learning from them. Let Mooji's story remind you that enlightenment isn't a destination reached through following others, but a journey of discovering your own truth. The next time you're drawn to a spiritual teacher, ask yourself, am I looking for guidance, or am I trying to escape the responsibility of my own growth? The truth, like a quiet whisper, resides within. Will you have the courage to listen? On the next episode of The Big Idea, Mooji's journey unveils the profound peace found in recognizing our true nature, a freedom echoing through the silence of the self. But what happens when that self encounters the world, brimming with its own illusions and divisions? Imagine a world where spiritual wisdom isn't confined to monasteries, but woven into the very fabric of everyday life, challenging societal norms with every breath. The hero of our next episode discovered something that ignited a revolution of thought and faith, bridging communities through verses of love and unity. Prepare to be inspired by a story of devotion, courage, and the power of inner wisdom to transcend boundaries. Next week, we'll explore the intersection of poetry and spirituality, revealing how lyrical expression becomes a conduit for profound truths. Our upcoming story will highlight this theme, showcasing how verses can dismantle walls and awaken the soul. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. 7 mental models used by humanity's greatest minds. Think clearer, decide faster, and spot opportunities everyone misses. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/bi. Thanks for watching.